Hi, this is Traxxas King 12, and today I'm going to teach you how to trigger mod your Xbox 360 controller. The materials you're going to need is any kind of tape, either duct tape, scotch tape, masking tape. You could use painter's tape, doesn't really matter, whatever you have, any kind of tape. And a Phillips head screwdriver, doesn't matter what kind, it just has to, when you're getting a Phillips head, make sure it fits these screws, or else you'll strip them and then you'll have a big hassle. Then finally you need an Xbox 360 controller. Wireless or wired. The only reason I'm using a wired right now, I have wireless, but I'm using a wired right now because my Torx wrench, which is the screws on a wireless controller, it is stripped. The head on the Torx wrench is stripped. So I can't use that, so I'm just going to do it on my wireless. I'm wired right now. Doesn't really matter for the wireless, but you need a Torx wrench. You can't do it with Phillips. Okay. So the first thing you want to do with your controller is tape over... Oh, sorry. This is not my idea. I did not come up with this idea, and I'm not going to take credit for it. But the only thing I'm going to say is that if you're doing this to your controller and it breaks or something happens to it, it's not my fault at all. I had no influence on you to break it or anything. So really pay attention to what you're doing and don't just do it laid back. You have to be paying attention to what you're doing, and don't go poking around inside on the circuit board with your screwdriver seeing what it'll do, because then you'll break it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is take your tape and you just want to tape over the buttons, so when you open it up, when you open the shell up, the buttons just don't fall out and go all over the place. And I've experienced with that. It is a pain in the butt. So first thing you want to do, take tape, put it over the buttons. And what you want to do when you put it over, what you want to do is, once it's over, you want to press in between the buttons, like in between the buttons, go around the buttons each time, maybe twice. Make sure that it gets a good solid lock on the controller and the buttons at the same time, so they don't fall out. Okay, just go around the buttons. So one more piece for the Y. Okay, now you're done with the tape. Just put it on, and once again, go around the buttons just to give it a good lock. Doesn't matter what kind of tape. Okay, now, the next thing you want to do, make sure it's not, when you tape it, it's not on this line, or else you're going to think you're caught on something, and then you're going to end up ripping it and stuff. Just make sure it's not on the line. Okay, the next thing you want to do, turn your controller over, and right here, there's going to be a white, I should say cover, but it's not really a cover. It's just like a white piece of, it's kind of a tape. All you want to do is you could just take the screwdriver and just poke through it. You don't have to take the whole thing off. I just took the whole thing off just to show you that there was something there. I don't know if you could see the glue line, but it's empty right here. It's empty. It's like a little tray. But you don't have to take the whole thing off. Just poke through with the screwdriver just to access that screw. Now, first thing you want to do is take out these outside screws. One by one. And make sure when you're using the screws, put them all in the same spot where you won't be able to touch them, and you won't be able to lose them. You could also use a bowl or a plastic bag to put them in. It just helps. And remember, when you're taking out these outside screws right here, make sure you dump them out into your hand before you open the shell, or else it'll pop out everywhere and you'll lose them. Next side. Oh. Oh yeah, you can just put the wire over there so it's not in your way. if you have a wired controller. But what I'm doing to this controller, it works with the wireless also, but the only difference is you need a Torx wrench to open these screws, which right now mine is out of commission, so can't use that. Just take out all these screws. Now the last screw you want to take out is always this security screw. Always take that out last, just as a safety precaution so nothing happens. Just always take that security screw out last. And while you're taking this out, hold the controller together so it doesn't pop out if you're holding it up. I'm holding it to show you. You could just put it on a desk like this and take each one out. So make sure you don't dump the security screw over. It's open, so you could just go like that. Now you want to flip it over like this. You want to take the top off. Don't go like this and take the bottom off, because then the circuit board and the vibrators will all fall out. So you want to keep it facing up, and you just want to put your nail right in here, and it just lifts right off. Oop, there, just lifts right off. See, and this is where you just take this off. The LB and the RB button all comes off. Now this is where the tape comes in, because if you didn't have this, everything would fall completely out and you'd be scrambling around on the floor to get everything. Okay, so you just put this to the side for now. Make sure you leave this D-pad in, and keep the D-pad in. Don't try and take that out, because that's a hassle. And then next thing you want to do is just take this little rubber thing off. That's for the buttons. Make sure you do not lose this, or else you will break your controller. Next, just take this gray piece off, right here where the microphone goes in. Just take that off. It should just let you lift it. It goes up and then you pull, because there's two little spikes. I don't know if you can see it. There's a spike here and a spike right here that you have to lift up and out. Okay, the next thing you want to do, it makes your life easier. Don't try and just pull the circuit board out. First, take off the wire and just lift the wire, and the whole thing just pops out. That's all you have to do if you have a wired. But if you have a wireless, what you want to do is you're going to have to press down the triggers. When you press down the triggers, then the whole thing should just lift out. Alright, put the shell in these two pieces over here. Okay, now this is where you have to know what you're doing. Flip this over. Do not take these analog sticks off, or else you might break the circuit board. So lean it like this. One fell off. Sorry, my analog stick came off. Okay. Now what you want to do is put it on the analog sticks and take the vibrators. You want to take the vibrators and put it right here so it supports it with the analog stick. Don't put it on the weight right here. Don't put it on this weight. Put it sideways where that rubber is, and then just put it like this. Make sure it leans on them. Well, you really don't have to do this. It just helps, because the analog sticks mostly balance it. And the next part of the video, I will show you how to. I will show you how to actually do